Let's start with our next topic called line and staff aspects of HRM. How many of you are familiar with these two words, line and staff? So if I would ask you, would you answer? What are they? What is line and what is staff? Day-to-day work is line, okay. And what is staff? It's a supportive role, wonderful. It's a supportive role, good. Can you further explain, anybody? Okay, wonderful. Okay, they give advices only. Okay, now this is part of general management functions called organizing. So you can start making some notes. Line and staff terms are used in organizing function of management. So when we want to identify the work in your organization, we divide the work into two parts. Any business organization for that matter, we divide the whole business work or operations, we call it, into two types: the line work and the staff work. Now, who are the line? Line represents anybody? Okay. By the responsibilities they carry out, we would know who is line and who is staff in HR functions. Okay. Line aspects, they focus on direct supervision. So that's the key. Line represents those who are directly responsible for the produce or production. They are directly responsible. If anything happens to the production, you can hold them responsible. Whereas staff, they are not directly responsible for production, but they are only supporting in nature. Staff is advisory in nature. Staff provides support, resources to the line. Both are important. Sometimes you will find this difference. Line considers itself more important. Why? Because they are responsible for production. So top management gives a lot of importance to line people, because at the end of the day, how many products are produced? That's their concern. So if line complains against you as a staff, the top management will give importance to them. And you feel psychologically secondary as a staff. Most of the managerial functions are staff, except operations. So finance, marketing, HR, we are all staff in nature. But that's what the distinction. Sometimes HR falls in line as well as staff. You have to find out that. For example, when I said line, the second bullet point, line focuses on direct supervision and management of employees. So if you want productivity to happen, who makes it happen? Employees only. And who is supplying employees? Your department. So don't you think you're directly responsible? But still, I say you're not, because your role ends only when you supply the human resource to the departments. But it's for the heads of those departments to see that productivity happens. So now, plain simple understanding, all the heads of the departments are considered to be the line. So somewhere you can write down in your notes. Line is represented by all the heads of the department. Sometimes if you have free time, identify how many departments are there on an average in any company. We did that some exercise long time. Some 20 plus departments we've identified. So you can also try how many departments would be there in one company. Let us say a manufacturing company. How many departments would be there? In operations itself, you'll have so many departments. In operations itself, somebody who brings raw material, somebody who stores it, called stores department, stores management, inventory management. What are so many words we use? Likewise, in all functional areas like finance department, you have accounts department. Then you have taxation department, you have this department, that department. So many internal. Likewise in marketing, new product development, R&D, sales, marketing. So many departments inside that function. Likewise in HR, at least we have seen in the previous class, 6 major functions. You could have 6 departments. So if you keep on listing, it goes beyond 20 plus departments, and each of them would have a head called line. He is responsible for the department's goals. But what about staff? Staff focuses on support functions. Staff's job is to support the line, provide them resources, provide them facilities, provide them advices, provide them with solutions. That's your job. Now, as I told you, we are partly line, partly staff. Let's look at what are the line aspects of HR quickly. Number one, you must involve the heads of the department in the following functions or following, I would call them activities of HRM now. Okay, number one, involve the line managers in hiring and selecting new employees. For example, you want some sales guys. So who's the right person to interview them? People with sales background, people with marketing background. You are not the one. So you support the marketing department or sales department. The sales head and the marketing head will interview them. So you got the point now. Line is responsible for hiring them, whereas you provide the platform for all those activities. Is that okay? Today you should have this clarity. I'm sure at the end of this session you would appreciate everybody is going to be HR guy. Whether you're a marketing fellow, you would still be HR fellow by looking at this understanding. So, line, that means all those who are not HR representing other departments, they will be sitting in this function to hire and select employees. They will be finally training and developing their subordinates when the employees go back to their respective departments. And every HOD is responsible for evaluating their respective subordinates' performance, called performance appraisal. It will be done by them, not by you. You got the point? Sometimes I have this doubt when I look at all of this. What else am I doing then? If I'm an HR manager, I'm not doing any of these things. What else am I doing? I'm only facilitating. I'm only providing platform so that all my line heads will smoothly carry out these functions. Your job is only to prepare documents, paperwork, procedures, so that every work smoothly flows. Line managers are responsible for discipline and handling employee dissatisfaction, which is basically HR function, but carried out by non-HR people. That's what amazing to me. HR function is always executed by non-HR people anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. Even finance guys have to execute all these functions in their respective departments because employees are there in their department. Got it? Line managers are also responsible for motivating employees and providing direction to their work. That's called leadership, right? Now, let's look through the staff function, staff aspects of HR. What would you do if you're a HR manager? You're responsible for policy development. What's a policy? Anybody? What's a policy? It's a guidebook. It's a guidebook. So you develop a guidebook or guidelines so that managers can follow the guidelines that prevents them from deviations. So you are responsible for policy development. You are responsible for designing recruitment function, recruitment ads and selection procedures, how to conduct GD, what kind of topics to be, how to conduct interview, who should be part of interview, who's going to be the panel members, should I call them from outside or within company? We have to identify all that. Sometimes can I call some expert from outside? IT companies, they call experts from outside, software professionals if they want to hire. You design training programs and involve the line. to execute them. You cannot because you're not a technical guy. You're only HR manager. So you design, they execute. That's the plain simple. Your job is to design things. Execution happens by the line function. You design compensation and the benefits. Recommendations are done by the line. Who should be promoted? Who should be elevated? It's the line suggestions, but you formalize it through paper. You design performance management systems implemented by the line. You have to observe the compliance. That's what we call compliance is all about following the labor laws. Compliance means follow all the government rules. What kind of reports to be filed, what kind of reports to be submitted to the government in time so that they will impose penalties on you. Huge fines they'll slap on you. So prevent your company from being fined because of compliance. I hope we are able to understand now the key differences. Line managers have authority over direct reports. HR staff act in an advisory role. So your job is to advise people that you should be very good in. You should be very good at, sorry, you should be very good at advising all the line people. Sometimes line people want to promote out of personal bias. You have to be extremely smart. You should track who's biased. You're promoting somebody known to you. Is it fair? Is it scientific? You have to track that. That's called advisory role. Some line people want to bring some kith and kin into the company during recruitment. My relatives, family, friends. You have to be extremely smart. That's your job. So constantly interact with the line managers because there are large in number. Those guys are in majority. You are alone. That's why always move around the company. I made this practice in my previous workplace. I'll close the class now. In 2 3 minutes, we'll close it. But these kind of things never cling to my mind. I don't think I'll be sharing these experiences. All my work lifetime, the first 1 hour mornings, I would go around the entire shop, entire work floor. I'm sorry, shop floor. I would go around the entire shop floor saying greetings to everybody. I wish everybody, hi, how are you? Good morning. Like that, I would greet. I would go talk to some people here and there. And then I would also know what kind of problems likely to come as the day goes by. I'll anticipate the problems. And then after that 1 hour, I'll go back to my room and be ready with all kind of anticipations. What kind of problems are likely to crop up and how should I be get ready to fix them at the end of the day. So when somebody comes to my room, I would know, yeah, this guy is coming for that problem. I knew that problem because that morning 1 hour helped me. So before I go home, I would fix all the problems and peacefully sleep. Otherwise, tomorrow morning I have to face the music because I have postponed all the problems of yesterday. If necessary, stay back for half an hour, 1 hour more in your company, fix all the problems related to employees, then go home, eat well, sleep well. Then tomorrow you can peacefully come to the office. No tension. This is something which no textbook will tell you. So these kind of tricks we will learn because they're all time tested. Sometimes I'll share those cases, companies where I work, kind of problems like this, non-textbook solutions we would call them, which are part of our case analysis actually. So when we are analyzing those issues, we will address them. So until then, I think that's it for today. I'll pause here if you have any questions.